Legends, welcome back to IGHQ. In today's Apex video, we're going over all you need to know about the new event to come to Season 22 Shockwave, and that is the Space Hunt event. We get a new mode to try out, cosmetics to buy or earn, and it's also the halfway point of the season, so we'll have some additional patch notes to go over. Of course, if you missed the main changes from the season, I'll link that video up in the cards, but otherwise I just appreciate you for being here, and let's get into it. Starting with the Space Hunt event, which launches September 17 and runs until October 8th, bringing with it the new mode I mentioned, which is called Knockout. In this mode, it's all about the Evo points. Set in a 60-player, 20-squad VR setting, compete by locating and holding zones around the map and collecting Evo to earn points. Every round, the 5 lowest scoring teams will be eliminated. This will go for 3 rounds with unlimited revives until the final round, which will initiate a sudden death mode. This will respawn the last 5 teams to let them duke it out for the dub. This sounds kind of fun, different, and I'm just excited to see games trying new things. I'm also just a sucker for zone control game modes, so to have that within a BR where if you get enough points, objective based, you can move on. Sure, it's still going to come down to shooting when sudden death hits, but I don't know, could be fun. I should really quickly mention that if you don't have either Crypto or Watson, they are temporarily free to use and have some trials added to them to help you permanently unlock them. And so for Crypto, that'll be September 17th to October 15th, and for Watson, October 1st to October 15th. So we, of course, also get a bunch of collectibles to pick up during the event, 36 to be exact, with milestone rewards being given out for each threshold reached throughout collecting them all. And the mythic melee weapon, the Serpent Sting, being the grand prize. This thing does look awesome and will actually fill up with red holographic triangles as you get kills throughout the match, maxing at 5. And if you become kill leader at any point and hold that title, a little holographic crown will actually show at the end of it. So that's pretty cool to me. This is 2 events in a row now where they're making stuff actually kind of almost worth it here, so that's definitely a good sign. But as always, I'll stick to my free rewards. Again, that's going to be my preferred system here, where you get to earn points, they're calling bounty bucks, and then use that to unlock whatever you want. Of course, keeping in mind the mid-event swap to happen September 28th, you'll see some fresh rewards up there. Of course, the badge is staying the same the whole time, but have fun slaying out, earning points, and grabbing some free loot. Lastly, a reminder to peep the shop during the event though, as well as the second half of the battle pass has started, and duos returns for the rest of the season. So good luck in the games, and of course, if you want to catch some dubs live, links are in the description, as well as all my sources and timestamps to help you jump to the facts you need. So as we continue on here, let's dive beneath the surface and check out those mid-season patch notes. A shift in the maps brings Kings Canyon back alongside Olympus, and of course keeping E District in rotation. Our gold rotation has been changed to the Mozambique Akimbos, P2020 Akimbos, EVA 8, Flatline, and G7. As for our loot bins, they had a big adjustment this season, and so a few additional tweaks needed to be made. They've added an announcer voice line for when the bins get reset mid-match, just to help improve clarity. They reduced the spawn rate for some high-value loot within those bins, like backpacks, hop-ups, and gold attachments. If a loot bin is opened just before the reset happens, it'll actually spit the loot out onto the floor. Legendary loot bins will roll fewer gold items via the smart loot system when opened, as well as there are fewer gold bins on the map, but a more consistent distribution. And I think this is kind of fair, but I will say it's been fun seeing all these shinies everywhere. As for the mythic loot bins though, they will now also roll large healing items more consistently. The loot ticks, however, they've been greatly improved, removing white and blue rarity items and increasing the chance to receive gold weapons. They did remove Phoenix kits and hop-ups from there, but with the way bins work and with the right support legends, this kind of makes sense. This will just increase the odds for something useful actually dropping from these loot ticks, because I don't know about you, but 9 times out of 10 I'm just running past these things these days because, better ground loot, smart loot, or just shooting someone and taking their loot. So as for the ammo that spawns with weapons, it'll now be a single brick, but with twice the ammo. So for great weapons like the R99, which also saw some slight tuning adjustments as you can see on the screen here. This is actually our only weapon that sees some adjustments other than, I guess you could argue, the Havoc, which sees the removal of the turbocharger. And while we're on the note of hop-ups, the spawn rate for the gun shield hop-up has also been reduced. The ultimate accelerants have been increased in rarity from blue to purple, and see a spawn rate adjustment as well being reduced, but they did make it so that while you are using the ultimate accelerant, your movement speed is increased. Looking now at our legend adjustments for Fuse, it looks like they fixed the issue allowing him to work as a recon legend essentially by hard capping the max radius that he can scan in his ult to 450 meters, and also disallowing the mortar targeting on multiple tall objects. They say the unintended side effect of getting a large scan area when shooting Fuse's ult at, say, a redeploy tower was not the intent. For Rampart, they lowered the delay before you can re-enter Sheila's turret to 0.15 seconds was 1 second. Revenant, his Forged in Shadows ult takes a big hit, now taking twice as long to activate and only giving 50 shields instead of 75. But Valkyrie sees the most adjustments, so let's take a look at her. Firstly, she's now in the Recon Legend class, was Skirmisher. Full tank upgrades now make it so the time delay before refuel is only 4 seconds, was 8. She gains threat vision while jetpacking, as well as the jetpack UI now has a refuel delay timer. She should have a more agile jetpack handling, closer to her launch season. We also see some changes to her tactical, making the slow or stun time increased by 50%, and the missile explosion radius increased by 20%. The minimum attack range decreased, so you can actually hit players that are a bit closer to you now with your tactical, as well as the missile travel time is just a bit faster to hit target. 4 seconds was 4.5, but the fire rate to get all the missiles out takes a bit longer. Now 25 seconds was 18. All in all, this sounds like Valk will feel different for sure, but we also get a couple changes to her upgrade systems, which includes a new Eye in the Sky upgrade for level 3, which ignores the line of sight check on the Skydive HUD scan and increases the HUD highlight range by 40 meters. So this will really help you just track down your enemies as you're flying around the map. But that did replace full coverage, which was in level 3. They bumped it down to level 2 and made it slightly better by reducing the tactical time by 5 seconds. And having that in level 2 just kind of knocked out the previous level 2 aerial expert upgrade. So as for the modes now, we of course have that new knockout mode that we talked about coming with the event, as well as duos returning for the rest of the season. But really quick, we are going to cycle through the rest of the mixtape plans and quickly update you on ranked as well. So, for Mixtape, September 17 to October 14, we have TDM Control and Gun Run. From October 15 to 21st, TDM Control Lockdown. October 22 to 28, we got Big TDM coming back, Control and Gun Run. And then October 29 to November 4th, we got Big TDM Control and Gun Run. So, as for Ranked, they're doing their best to continue with transparency moving forward, keeping up with all these cheaters in Ranked, and just trying to make a decent experience. And in doing so, they've tried these Ranked Rumbles, which they say haven't really worked the way they hoped or had the impact that they would have liked. So they decided to kind of get rid of it for this season, kind of shelf it and tweak it up, keeping these core ideas of how they want it to work in mind. Like, the Ranked Rumble should add to the existing Ranked experience, not be a substitute. It should provide a way to earn bonus rewards for competing directly against other players in your tier. Provide an opportunity for meaningful competition and comparison once you've reached your skill cap. It should capture some of the top Predator placement magic at every ranking tier. It should create some of the best matches that Ranked has to offer by bringing more players together. Create an opportunity for us to gather and respond to feedback, which allows us to dial in the experience for future and your time investment. So personally, I've just been getting back into Rank, and the last couple of Rumbles didn't interest me or really even make much sense, and so I hope what they plan to do does help with the Ranked experience as I continue my grind, and I hope the games are going well for you. But lastly, that does bring us to the bug fixes and quality of life improvements midway through the season here, so let's throw those up. They continue to work on and make improvements for the graphics and the DX12 for the PC here, fixing issues that prevented Apex from working on 3rd gen Intel CPUs like the 3570 and the 3770. Of course, additional Intel down below, but they also fixed a long-standing bug that could cause servers to crash, fixed rare case where you could get crushed when mantling over an open loot bin. Low ammo indicators will no longer spam while you're unarmed. The minimap icons for used or empty perk bins will no longer display. The R99 restored to care packages. Restored the ADS red dot while using Celestial Sniper longbow skin. They restored zipline upwards from the 2nd floor of Watson's pylon on Stormpoint. Teams with all max level players of Evo can no longer interact with Evo harvesters. They vastly reduced the likelihood of being in a constant state of rubber banding, which is good. And again, on the note of loot bins, they fixed a rare crash related to opening a mythic supply bin after a loot bin reset, as well as loot bin reset warnings while spectating now show the correct times. As for our legends, we talked about a few changes earlier, but a couple bug fixes for crypto. The EMP will no longer occasionally trigger while recalling hack. For Mad Maggie, her passive will now trigger when hitting gun shields. Newcastle's Swift Shield upgrade now works as intended, and Watson's emergency power upgrade will now affect teammates and alt excels, resolving issues with health regen in Mixtape. The quality of life improvements for the mid-season update added the ability to manage your inventory while healing and ziplining, which is really nice. For Valkyrie, you can now cancel her tactical by meleeing. As for E-District, they added assets to aid in climbing up walls in certain areas, added 2 survey beacons to the north side of the map. Electro Dam's spillway slope can now be traversed upwards. Ground loot and loot bin count has been increased. 100 loot bins have been added to the map. Buses now have ground loot. Various buildings have had their ground loot slightly increased. They've also reduced the amount of possible high tier loot spawning at the Lotus, relocated Blossom Drive's crafter to the far west side, and resolved a number of additional bugs and rat spots. So the map's been really fun. I've been enjoying it. My only complaint was just sometimes the ammo situation, but this should help with that. So that is everything you need to know about the Space Hunt event, as well as the mid-season patch notes, changes and bug fixes to hit Shockwave. Again, I hope the games are treating you well, and if I missed anything, remember to leave it in the comments down below so we can have all the facts in one place. Leave it a like if you learned something new, and heck, even consider subscribing for more Apex content like this. But as always, I just appreciate you for being here. Stay safe, stay gaming, and I'll see you in the next one. COMM.
Nice, let's go.